in the St. Thomas Industrial Park. We're going to go in and meet Dave Miner of DMAC Automation. This is one of the coolest manufacturing facilities in St. Thomas, and can't wait to check it out. Come join me. Here with Dave Miner, the president and owner of DMAC Automation, doing custom automation work, quite honestly, worldwide. I'm really excited to meet you today and for you to show us around.
Oh, it's great to have you guys here today.
Terrific, and let's get right to it because there's a lot to show, a lot to see, and we're going to start in with the engineering room.
Okay, sounds good. So out here is our electrical build area here. This is engineering in here. So this is where all the brain work happens in here, guys. So we have mechanical and electrical all interstewed together. You can see some of the products that we're building for doing weld cells for fully assembled of barbecues and everything.
Yep.
But this is basically how all the drawings and the engineering's happen in here. Electrical on this side, mechanical over here, some remote guys down there.
So, you know, like on DMAC, and I was creeping your website before, make sure I had the right language, but you are a custom automation shop.
That's exactly
so
right.
So when so dumb that even down a little, I mean, that's a pretty simple thing, but what does that mean?
So that means we don't build one single product. Our actual product is a service that we provide to our customers for solutions.
Okay.
So our customers will bring us something that they want to manufacture, and they have no other way of manufacturing other than custom automation to do it.
Okay.
Like for instance, barbecues. That was all offshore built, and now they're bringing it back, and they've never been built here in Canada, so we're actually designing a line to manufacture and weld together these barbecues.
So you support manufacturers versus manufacturing. So you're a manufacturer for manufacturers.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So our customer would ship us all the loose parts, not us, but we would actually build this for the customer. So we would take all their loose parts and then weld them all together. In our automation, but that automation would exist in their plant. So we would build all of that automation for them to run in their plants. So they would have, you know, all these pieces broke up. We would design the tooling. They'd put it into the tooling, and then we would. And
then at that point, like they're on their end, they're then using the equipment that you're developing to mass produce it or get more scale, obviously, than doing one off every single time, which would be tremendously expensive and stupidly inefficient and have absolutely no business model without your technology.
Correct.
You're laughing. I like it. Okay.
No, I like that. Yep.
Cool. That is a heavy-duty barbecue.
That is. That's a high-end, heavy-duty barbecue.
What was your background to like even get into this like this? I mean, our show's called Meet the Makers, and you're about as maker of anyone we've actually featured on it, which is awesome. And I love the fact that it's in St. Thomas and the cool work you're doing for like really big international companies. But how did you stumble into this, or maybe not stumble, maybe it was purposeful to get here?
Well, I started off actually, to believe it or not, in the molten magnesium industry. So I worked with a gentleman in Strathroy that was building magnesium furnaces. So we started there, and then we got into more of the robotic sides. We started developing more of the automation for different things. At that point, we were getting into more of a product line. So then I left the company after we got the product line set up, and he was doing what he wanted to do there. Moved more into custom automation for automotive. From that point, I was doing anything. I was working a lot with press strand and magnets and stuff like that, doing tooling and weld cells for that. Thought I'd get out of the automotive rat race and get into something different, and moved into more of a brewery side. Did that for a couple years, and then unfortunately that company had to close up. When they closed up, I decided that I was going to move on to something. I actually thought I'd either move into project management, or I thought I'd start an actual company of my own doing what I like to do, which was automation. So I talked to a couple clients I had before, and they're like, do the automation side. So I gave it a whirl, started off with 6 months, and we've been here 14 years.
So it's much more about barbecues, and you're going to show us some cool stuff on the shop floor. Let's go.
But out here we have some technology that we were working on. This is, I know I say we don't make a standard product, but we do make products, and we'll do multiples thereof. So these lines here are actually robotic sanding cells. So a local customer came to us and said, I'd like to do this with our cabinet doors. I'd like to sand these cabinet doors. So can you set something up? So we had a couple reiterations. built it all up, put it on his floor. He liked it so much, he had people come in and they're like, you should sell those. So he came to us and said, would you like to build these for me? And I'm great. So we ended up turning around and building a bunch of these.
How many would you do a year?
Right now, this is 10 so far this year, with another 3 to 5 coming after that.
But you're typically like, so I understand it properly, you're typically not like doing a whole bunch of units. You're kind of doing one and done and delivering it and okay.
Yeah. So even from the very first one we built him to like the last machine here or the next ones we're going to build, there's always an improvement as we move along. The gentleman that's selling these, he actually comes to us with different things, and we put reiterations all the way through, keeping them better and better and better as we go.
Yeah, as they're used, you learn kind of what you might change just a little bit, and then you take that back and incorporate that. And
that's right.
That's the custom automation.
That's the custom automation side of it. So we have a robot cell right here building up that is actually has quite a few different welding processes in it. It's in its infancy stages right now. So we have a MIG welding robot for stainless. This is a material handler. So this thing is actually going to pick the entire tool up, which is not normally what happens. Normally you bring the welders to the tooling and then you weld on the tooling. This is going to pick the tooling up and take it to the welder. The part that we're dealing with has multiple sides to it, multiple angles, so we actually decided to go to what's called a tool weld setup.
Okay.
So we'll pick this robot will come over and there'll be tooling right where you're standing there. It'll pick the whole thing up. We'll go over to the welder here. MIG weld it together, do all the different pieces. While that's happening, there's a large roll-up door here where the customer is loading parts onto another fixture.
Yeah.
Safe from the robot, obviously, in the welding. And then there's a couple other areas that aren't built up yet that it'll go get stud welding done and then some polishing and finishing it. So, but this is what it would look like, the envelope of what it would look like on the floor.
So you're able to like really actualize it like in place. Like what is the process? So even from like an eliminating waste being like, well, we can get this closer even or.
Right, so what we do is we're complete cradle to grave design and build. So our customers come in and they ask us to get the process done. We'll actually quote the whole process, figure it all out, the quote stage, quote them. And then when the PO is issued, we'll actually sit down and engineer the entire thing with the help of the customer. Like for instance, where the operator area is, we'll actually set it up here and say, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. The customer has full reign on, does he like this, does he not like this?
Okay.
And then we'll design the entire thing. We do also offer simulation inside, so if the customer wants to see how the part's gonna move through the cell, we use Octopus actually. It's a engineering software that lets us simulate the process of the machining, the machine itself. So we'll do that and set everything up. Once we have an engineer approval, we'll go and we'll release that out to build. We'll build the entire thing, either outsourced like I was talking about or in-house.
Yeah.
Then we assemble the entire thing on our floor. So the entire thing is set up just exactly like it would be set up at our customers.
Yep.
And then we will set it up, wire it, tune everything in, actually commission it, program it, and run sample parts for our customers here.
And then the next step would be, do you bring the people from the company here to train on it, or or do you typically go install it and then train there?
What we try to do, and a lot of customers are buying into, is we actually have them come up during our commissioning stage. So while we're getting through the bugs of the system and programming, we'll bring them in and train it. That way we can eliminate anything where if they like to see something a little bit different, it's better for us to do it on the floor.
And they're going to be the ones using it.
That's
so
right,
they're going to have like ideas about like, hey, actually this is a small improvement that we could make in terms of how you've set it up, or kind of anticipated they're going to use it.
Exactly. They get to own it. They're championing it when it gets to their floor. Once they're happy with that and we run off a certain amount of parts for them, usually we're running off 200-300 parts depending on what it is.
Okay.
We will actually get them to sign off and they're happy with it, set up a time for install. We'll tear the entire machine down, truck it to their facility. Our crew of millwrights will go in, set it right back up again, wire it all back up again. We'll do another internal run for ourselves where we'll train their employees that they've said they're going to be working on the line during that stage. Then we'll do another runoff with the customer on their floor to get to their quality KPIs and everything that they need to fill out for that. And then we'll do a training session afterwards, and then it's all theirs. And then, of course, we're remote support as well. All of our machines that we ship out, we can remote right from our engineering office right to that machine if the customer has purchased that as part of the package. So this unit will actually, when it does all its picking, we'll put this into a lathe and it gets machined at that point. Then we pick it out and we do a marking system over there.
And then I get to press a button.
You get to press a button, and Jesse's done something.
I'm really excited. I'm gonna.
I don't even know what
I
it's
did
going to
all
do,
the
so I'm
work.
going to step out where it's safe.
I'm just
kidding.
I was actually going to let him run it. So it's not quite auto,
Okay.
but I'm going to actually let
Alrighty.
you run the program from beginning
Great.
to end.
Okay.
So,
Now I'm nervous.
no, it's
'Kay.
you're not going to have to think about much of anything.
Okay. Alrighty.
So, first thing, this gives you your power for the motor. So if you press that,
This one right here.
yep, and you'll see it start blinking. So now it's happy that you've done that. Next thing you're going to do is hold this button with this thumb.
With it. Oh my God.
Yeah, and then hold this button. And the
8
robot's-
minus here,
And then nope, test start. And
Test.
here we go.
and I'm holding it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can let go of the left button and hold. Just keep holding the right button. Yep. And if for some reason you squeeze that thing, the robot will stop. If you're scared, the robot will stop. This is something I just made this morning, so something I mocked up.
Looks like it's going to club you.
And yeah, I had to create each point of this program cautiously. It's not the most accurate grip, but I made a simple little program that does some fun stuff. This isn't all of it, I promise. There's another little bonus at the end.
So when he's talking about programming it and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
like you're on the other side of the machine, like where we just were, or is this you're
Nope.
doing this like
He's right here with the pendant that you're
Like
holding.
in there.
He is actually standing beside this, telling it what to do, teaching
the
every
grand
single
finale.
point that it's going to go through. Just what you're doing right now.
yes guy?
There you go.
I love it.
Yeah.
That is super cool.
And obviously when the cell's in full auto, instead you would basically flip this switch over.
Right.
And then
And then would
start.
do that entire
Yeah.
sequence that you saw there all
Yeah.
by itself.
Yeah.
You would literally hit a little swipe button out there and it would do and run that entire program for you.
Yep.
David, super impressive what you guys do, and I love that you talk about using other local companies that you're supporting in that way. But one of the last cool facts we're going to share today is Fanshawe College being a great feeder school for the type of skills and abilities that you actually need to work here. And you're a Fanshawe grad yourself.
I am so, yes. I sit on the board for some of the courses that go through there, so they call me up and get my opinion on things, which are great. We have a couple Fanshawe graduates that came through their mill writing program as well. So yeah, we support local huge here.
There we go. So I guess the lesson is don't forget the trades as a super cool, interesting career, cutting edge technology, supporting some of the most dynamic industries that we've got going. It's amazing that it's happened in St. Thomas, and congratulations on everything you've accomplished.
Well, thank you very much.